Welcome back to the fields of Perthshire, or at least it will be when I get there. I've parked the car. I've got about a mile to walk because there's no parking nearby, but I'm on my way to a little field which I've discovered, which the farmer has left is set aside. I can see it from here. It looks like stubble, so hopefully it's going to be relatively easy digging. We've had a lot of heavy rain over the last 3 or 4 days, which hopefully is going to help with the signals. Hopefully it'll also soften up the ground a little bit. But I've done a little bit of research online, and in the bottom right hand corner of the field there is a scheduled monument. A scheduled monument of Iron Age roundhouses, which date back around about 1500 to 2,500 years ago. They've never been excavated, but it gives me hope that at the very least there is some really old history very close by. So I can't wait to get started. First time I've been out since I was out with Albert about 9 days ago, and I did manage to winkle out a bit of silver. So hopefully more to come. And there we go, folks. I have arrived. We've got a field that's probably about 7 or 8 acres. So this has intentionally been left by the farmer not to be planted. It's been barley last year, so it's barley straw stubble with a few weeds popping up, but nothing major. And as I say, a lot of history here. So we've got an Iron Age, effectively an Iron Age village. Roundhouses, mud huts, that would have been a combination of timber and earth, which, as I say, go back to the Iron Age, a couple of thousand years ago, more than likely. So it gives me a lot of hope. There are various monuments in the surrounding fields. A burial that goes back to the Bronze Age, which was about 3,500 years old. Various souterrains, which are underground storage pits that were used through the late Bronze Age into the Iron Age as well. So clearly there's been people living in this landscape for many thousands of years. Now let's hope they had some holes in their pockets. As ever, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please hit the button and help support the channel's growth. Right, never been detected, and I'm really looking forward to at least just getting out and swinging the XP DEUS 2. So let's go and see if we can find any treasures. A promising start. I've walked about 14 inches. I literally took one stride. It's not great, but we're going to investigate. Oh, look at that, like a hot knife through butter. Oh, look how wet the ground is. That's great. As you'll see, I've got the new spade with me again because I didn't know what the ground was going to be like. What's going on here? Pinpointer time, I think. It's not a great target, but I'm still going to give it a go. So are we off to a flyer or not? Oh, lost my pinpointer. What's that? Lead? It looks like lead to me. Good lead or bad lead? Just junk, I think. Right, it's pretty claggy because of all the wet ground. I'll clean it up just in case and get back to you. I did think there was an outside chance there was a bit of decoration on it, but nope, it's just a random piece of lead. Ah well, on to the next. It sounded like lead, and it is lead. It's a little seal though. I can see a couple of letters along the bottom. It's a little crimp, possibly for seed or for manure, but it's pretty worn. I would guess probably 19th into the early 20th century. It's not a post office seal because it doesn't have the lines, the crimp. But still, it's a thing. 3 bits of lead, 3 holes, and barely 4 minutes in. 17 bits of lead and 3 bits of aluminium later, I think we've got a coin. Screamer of an 87, there's a stone there. Come on. Please. It's there. We've got a clod, but I don't think it's a coin. What is that? It's aluminium. Don't believe it. I could have sworn that was going to be a coin. Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. 1 hour on the clock, and it's actually my first non-lead, non-aluminium find. And it's a little stud. Would have gone undoubtedly through leather, so probably on a horse harness or such like. But it's a find. Date wise, probably going to be 19th century, maybe into the very early 20th century. But it's a find. Hour and 25 minutes on the clock. I've called coin a few times, and as you'll have seen in the video, I've been completely wrong. This is a contender. Seem to be getting old aluminium though that comes in like a coin. It's out. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Come on. It's more lead. No, it's not. It's bronze. Well, it's a little bit of bronze, coppery alloy stuff. Maybe from metalworking. But ultimately, it's junk. Could be thousands of years though. Old, that is. Okay, 17th time lucky. Good of a coin. Seems pretty small. 88 to 91. And out and sounding very, very high pitched. But is it the first coin of the day? Well, it's a coin. I think it is a coin, but it's brown, so I think it might be a spendable. I think it might be a spendable, and it is. It's a 1 pence. It's a 1p. Queen Elizabeth II. Oh my goodness. There she is. The sun's come out at just the right time. No fade in required. What have we got? 1971, I think that is. Is it? My eyesight's getting so bad. Well, I don't know. I'm going to say 71. No, it can't be because, well, I suppose it could be. Decimalisation was 71, I think. Always get that wrong. Anyway, it's my first coin. It's taken me about 1 hour and 45 minutes, and we've found a spendable penny. The joys. It is a coin, so we've got to look on the bright side, and it is 1971. I had to give it another bit of a clean and have a good look. I looked it up online because I've got a signal, 15th of February 1971. I know some of you have told me that in the comments, but I always forget. So there you go, a coin, 1 penny from the time of decimalisation, when we went from 240 pence to the pound to 100. Well, things can only get better. A bit of a ropey 61, and I tell you what, I think we've got back-to-back coins, and this one looks a lot older. It's paper thin, it's copper, and I think we've got a turner, which would put it in the 1600s. Phenomenal. Let's clean it up off camera, see if we can get any detail. It is indeed a turner, a Scottish 2 pence. Haven't had one for a wee while. And you can see the thistle slowly fading in with the leaves on either side. And this will probably be Charles II, I would guess. On the other side there would be a C and an R with a crown, but I can't really see very much on there. But I'll do a fade in of roughly what it would have looked like. So possibly Charles I, probably Charles II, 1620 to 1649 I think it was for, or 1625 to 1649 for Charles I, 1660 to 1685 if it's Charles II. Paper thin, they don't survive great in the ground most of the time, but every so often you get a good one. This unfortunately is not, but it does give me hope. Someone was here 300 odd years ago and dropped it. Hopefully some silver too. Another one worth investigation. Pretty strong, 79, 80. Would it be 3 coins back to back? I doubt it, but I mean, could be a halfpenny. Could be. Right. Thought that was it there. Claude? Oh, nope, not to be. Oh, we've got a cat badge, I think. You beauty. Absolutely brilliant. Well, talk about turning the day on its head. It was looking pretty dire for the first, I've dropped it, for the first hour and a half or so. But suddenly things are on the up. A penny, a 1600s coin, and now probably a World War I or World War II badge. That is the reverse. It looks to be intact, apart from being slightly bent. And this side should give us some detail. Right, it's pretty stable. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave it like that for the moment to dry off for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm going to flick off the dry mud and I'll get back to you. But that is brilliant. What a find. Really happy with that. Well, look at that, folks. It's cleaned up absolutely brilliantly, and it's an unusual regiment. I was expecting Scottish, but as you can see, East Yorkshire. We're a long way from Yorkshire. In the middle there, that is almost certainly the White Rose of York. Now, I'm not big on my English kings and English history, but this is Richard III was of the House of York. He was the last king or claimant from the House of York, I believe. Famously died at the Battle of Bosworth Field, and he fought against the Lancastrians. Henry, I think it was maybe Henry III or Henry IV, and he was famously knocked from his horse, and he issued the mortal words, a horse, my kingdom for a horse," and he was then stabbed, bludgeoned and killed. And he obviously had a type of scoliosis. He had a sort of spinal curvature, which features in Shakespeare. He was later buried in, I think it was Leicester, and about 15 years ago some enthusiasts tracked down the site of the priory where he was buried. I think it was called Grey Friars, and he was unearthed, and they were able to, through a descendant through his sister, find a DNA match and prove once and for all that it was him. And I think he was then later interred in the cathedral. So there you go. An amazing bit of history from one little find from East Yorkshire. Date-wise, I'm going to guess World War I period because of the lettering. Similar badges were found from World War I. I've got that same sort of stamp. But how on earth a badge from East Yorkshire gets all the way up here, 100, 150, 200 miles away to Perthshire, I'm not entirely sure. But I'll take it. Things are on the up. I googled it. It wasn't Henry the Third or Henry the Fourth. It was actually Henry the Seventh, and he was the House of Lancaster. Nothing whatsoever to do with this badge in terms of historically, but it's a nice link to the Houses of York and the Houses of Lancaster. And Henry went on to become the first of the Tudor kings. There you go, a nice wee story. Signal of the day so far. Bit of silver would be phenomenal. I would settle for another coin though. Ah, it's aluminium, is it? No, it's not. I thought that was a tin can, but it's just a few flowers that have fallen off that plant. Right, come on. Let's do this. Something in there. Nope. Oh, it is a coin, I think. Yes, we got a coin. Big lorry going past. Oh, it's a possible Georgian copper, I would say. Maybe a struggle to get any detail off that, but you know what, I'm going to take it. It is a coin, that's the most important thing. Right, clean up, dry out, and get back to you. Folks, it's older than I thought. It's a bobby. It's a copper Scottish sixpence. I haven't had one in ages. I can just make out the thistle. So it's probably from the era of Charles II, which will put it probably sometime, most of these tend to be around about 1670s in date. And you'll see the thistle fading in. On the other side would be the head of Charles, but it's completely toasted as far as I can see. But I'll superimpose them. So he'd be looking, if I remember right, to the left. If he's looking right, then I'm completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's left. And around the outside edge it would have said Carolus, Charles II. So sometime between his reign, 1660 to 1685. A sixpence back then, my goodness, what an amount of money. This would have bought you some serious amount of beer. Probably what, 18 to 24 pints, something like that. Wouldn't have tasted very good though. They weren't particularly great at making good tasting beer, but people still drank it. Phenomenal, great, another coin from the 1600s. Sounded rubbish in the ground, dug it out, lost it, found it again, and now 87, 88, sometimes, not always, but sometimes that means a coin. Well, what's that? That looks round to me. It is round. And I think we've got another spendable. Oh, it's a threepence maybe. It is. Well, I'll take that. It's either going to be George VI or his daughter, Elizabeth. And I think it's Elizabeth. Brilliant. Another coin. Phenomenal. Right, clean up and get back to you. It is indeed Elizabeth II, so I'll try and do a fade in. It's not easy on these coins, which have got, I think, 12 sides, but yeah, I can't be bothered to count them. Anyway, maybe it's 14, but it is Elizabeth II. You'll see her there looking to the right hand side. It's pretty early on in her reign, because I think the date is 1957, but it's become even harder to see now. But you'll see the portcullis, threepence, 3p, unfortunately, faded out the silver ones and produced these, which I think are made of brass, if I remember rightly. But still, it's another coin. I think that's maybe 4 I'm up to now. Might even be 5. Brilliant. And another screamer. I think it's pretty shallow. An outside chance it could be aluminium. Ugh, it's kind of all over the shop now, so I think a coin is out the window. Something hard there. Oh, it's green. Oh, what on earth is that? Some sort of, well, some sort of hook. Doesn't look like it's broken there though. Yeah. Well, certainly not what I was expecting. Copper alloy, probably, but a weird sort of look and shape to it. The hole's quite crude though, which makes me think it's a wee bit older than the last 100 or so years. Well, it's a thing. So obviously it would be screwed on there. I mean, a furniture decoration? Or some sort of tool for a fire? Don't really know. So, mystery object. If you know, comment below. My guess would be that's probably going to be, what, 100 to a couple of 100 years old, but let me know what you think. Nice. This is definitely a coin contender. Suddenly it looked like it was going to start raining, and now the sun's come out. Although it is forecast to rain very heavily within the next hour or so, so yeah, I think it's an agricultural piece. Oh god, it's bigger than I thought. It is indeed. Some sort of water pipe fitting, I think. Well, maybe the farmer will want that back. I doubt it. Ah well. It was a squeaky little target, and that's literally how it was lying in the ground. But now it's come out, it is a solid 70 and an outside chance of another 1600s coin. And I think it is. I think we've got another turner, another 2p. Right, we'll leave that to dry out. We might get a wee bit of detail off that. I can see an outside line, so there's a chance we might be able to see a thistle. But I'll get back to you in a second. It is another turner. This is the side with the crown. I can just see the remnants of a C. So it is Charles I or Charles II again. Unfortunately, there is the odd letter. You can just make out some of the outer line, but unfortunately, other than that, there's not a lot else to see. Somewhere on there, right there, is the thistle. So at least we can identify it, that's the main thing. So sometime again between 1625 and 1649 for Charles I, or 1660 and 1685 for Charles II. One was father and the other was his son. And the reason there's a gap of 11 years between those two dates is because for a period of time we thought, let's get rid of the monarchy, let's see what it's like. So Oliver Cromwell became de facto head of state. It became a Commonwealth, a republic, and then after about 11 years, they changed their mind, and they asked Charles II, who was living in France, with his cousin Louis, to come back, and they restored the monarchy. So since 1660, we've been back to kings and queens. Nice, a lovely wee coin, and clearly something going on here in the 1600s. This is going to be my last signal of the day. Dark skies on the horizon and the rain is on its way, the wind's picking up. But we've left a screamer for the last target. Oh, lovely and soft. 95, 96. What have we got? 93, 94. Big bar. Could be a big bit of lead. Well, there's something there. It's not. It's... ugh, what is that? It's a squashed thing. Some sort of container or something. Might actually be brass. So yeah, something somebody's folded up. Might even be like a Fray Bentos lid or something, who knows. Well, it's not. You know what it is? It's part of a license plate. Oh, it might actually be. Is that the whole license plate? No, it's half of it, I think. Oh no, it could be. Nope, it's not. It's just half of it. So half a license plate. Got the letter M for mother. So there you go. Might give that to my mum. Right, now let's have a wee look at the best from today. And that, folks, is another day on the fields of Perthshire. It was a slow start, but it turned out to be a very typical Perthshire field kind of day. An undetected field, that's the kind of range of objects and finds that we can expect pretty much on any field in Perthshire. And it was a pretty good day in the end. I think I've probably got 5, maybe even 6 coins. But let's have a wee look at the best from today. The best from a highly enjoyable 4 hours and 15 minutes. I'm not complaining, I tell you. It was a poor start, but I certainly made up for it after about an hour and a half. That's when things started to improve. It all started with a lucky penny, and that really set me on to all the other finds. You can actually see the thistle coming through on the bobby. Now it's dried out properly. You can see the C on the Charles the first or second turner as well. So 3 coins, 1, 2, 3 from the 1600s. The threepence from 1951, I think it was. No. Anyway, I forget. And the 1971 penny, which brought all the luck. I really like the badge. Really nice. I would love to know how that managed to get all the way up here. But as I say, my guess is probably World War I. And then this curious little item here, which I don't know what that is. But if you know, comment below. So there, a brilliant day on a brand new field. And I'm going to be out here probably another 6 or 8 times. So it's great to have this field available. A really mixed bag of finds. Oh, and an absolute ton of lead. A fantastic day, absolutely brilliant. I'm over the moon with that. 5 coins. Yes, I didn't get any silver, but I got the silver last time I was out with Albert, which was 9 or 10 days ago. That was great because that's the first time I'd been out in 2 weeks. And then obviously this field, I have a look around, I have a cycle around, I have a drive around it, and I can spot that this field has been left probably as set aside. I speak with the farmer, it has been left as set aside, and I get the green light to go out on it. So unfortunately nothing from the Iron Age 2,500 or so years ago, but I got 3 coins from the 1600s in under 4.5 hours. Now that is a really good sign that hopefully there is going to be more to come from this field, and there's going to be a lot more detecting, because I could probably spend 6 or 7 days on this field before I've covered it properly. So a great day out. Anyone knows anything about any of the finds, let me know. The cat badge is very interesting, and the curious little sort of hook thing. So let me know what you think. As ever, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, then please hit the button, help support the channel's growth, and fingers crossed, I'm going to get out quite a few times over the next week or so. So with a bit of luck, I might build a little bit of content, and for a wee period, I might be able to step it up to 2 videos a week. So as ever, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all on the next dig. Take care, and I'll see you soon.